Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I've got a nice piece from Tron Weekly Journal here, titled, "Here is what Ripple XRP plans to achieve in the long run." And so I'm going to run through this. I also want to share with you a piece about the Winklevoss twins, and apparently, despite past problems with Zuckerberg, the Winklevoss twins are willing to work with Facebook in some capacity, so I'll share with you the specifics on that. But before we get going, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. Alright, so Ripple and XRP's market on crypto as well as blockchain industry is quite impressive, and it's worth waiting to see how well it flourishes in the days to come. Indeed. Ripple, with a long-run vision, has already integrated XRP into its blockchain products. These products are eventually put in place with payment processing systems across global banks and financial institutions, which makes Ripple mark a big win. Due to regulatory uncertainties around Facebook's controversial cryptocurrency Libra, Ripple, with its native token XRP, pops up very often. And I'm going to let that slide because this is a pretty positive piece here. I don't think they're trying to do anything wrong. I hope not. Ripple with its native token XRP. That's not a thing. Ripple's a company. XRP is a cryptocurrency. However, Brad Garlinghouse doubts on Facebook's smooth-running Libra operation across the world. He urged that Facebook should comply with regulators to make Libra a considerable success. Remember, he did say in very recently, just in the video within the last, 2 or 3 weeks ago, he said that Facebook moving forward was an indication of Silicon Valley arrogance because they didn't really approach regulators, did they? They kind of did it the exact opposite of what Ripple's been doing. Hey, let's talk to regulators and then implement a business plan that kind of makes sense. And, well, as insofar as there is regulatory clarity, Ripple's behaving right, taking the Facebook approach. Now, when Libra is stuck with regulatory uncertainty from the legal watchdogs across the world, XRP community is hinting bullish sentiments on Ripple's smart move of dealing with regulators effectively. Also, how efficiently the firm is even offering crypto-based solutions to banks and fintech players across the payment industry. And so, point well taken, Ripple is definitely experiencing real-world adoption. You know, they have over 200, they've announced over 200 actual production contract customers. And it's funny, I wish I had pulled the tweet up now. Somebody I just saw on my Twitter feed, pointed out that on Ripple's website, I think they said there were 54 customers listed. And so those are the ones that are willing to make it known that they are indeed customers of Ripple. But Ripple says they have over 200 customers. So, anybody want to take a guess at who the other ones are? See, this is what I'm telling you, and I keep making this point. I think that it makes sense. I think a lot of Ripple's customers understand that they're at the cutting edge. They're using game-changing technology, and they really don't want their competitors to know that. So if you go by those numbers, maybe a quarter of Ripple's existing customers are willing to let the world know, yes, we are customers of Ripple. So that might tell you something there. Right, the fact is that Ripple is successfully offering its blockchain products such as XRapid, Xcurrent, RippleNet, and others to banks, financial entities across the world, which are accompanied by Ripple's native token XRP. Now that's weird to me. They probably don't know any better. They differentiated between XRapid, Xcurrent, and RippleNet. Like, RippleNet is the sum of all of those technologies, so not a different thing. Anyway, it's worth noting that the firm is also moving forward by complying the regulatory policies with the respective countries' regulations. Now they got a section here called Bridging the Gap. And I did find this fascinating, actually, especially because they pulled up a tweet that that was from XRP Boy that I pretty recently covered myself. Check this out. So anyway, henceforth XRP community view that Ripple is bridging the gap in the payment industry, and that makes XRP a winner on the playing field. Echoing a similar concern, an XRP community member referred to an old post of Ripple's CTO David Schwartz and explained in a tweet that, and I do want to read this for you because if you missed it in the last video, this is a very good point. So there's a question posed. Couldn't somebody else do that with another asset? It doesn't have to be XRP. XRP is just the one that you guys chose and picked. And so David Schwartz responds to that, right. And then, so they're referencing, okay, so you're using XRP as a bridge currency for cross-border payments, but couldn't you just pick anything? All right. So David says, right, so that's a really good point. We want to look at what are the properties of an asset that you'd want if you want it to be used in that role. You could use dollars or any kind of digital asset like Bitcoins, Ripples. The question is, what are the properties that you're going to be looking for? And so when I look at fiat currencies, until central banks actually offered a service, you're always going to be tied to some particular counterparty, some particular issuer for that particular ledger that you're using for the settlement. And I think the problem is that banks have run into, they will charge you through, oh shoot, you know what, it cuts off here. I didn't realize that until now. Let's see if it pulls it up here. Come on, save the day, Twitter link. Save the day. Oh, it just pulled up. Oh yeah, it did. Okay, cool. Now we can catch it. I apologize for that, guys. Before I recorded the video, I just thought the whole thing was there. My plan was just to read through it all. Anyway, it's the same. Oh, okay, so here we go. And so when you're looking for fiat currencies until central banks actually offered a service, you're always going to be tied to some particular counterparty, some particular issuer for that particular ledger that you're using for the settlement. And I think the problem that banks have run into is they will charge you through the nose for that service because they have that reach and other people don't. It's that same problem of once you have reach, you get that lack of competition because people are just entrenched. I think that's an opportunity for these neutral assets to be used for settlement where Ripple can't charge any high fee for that because we don't control the network any more than any of our users do. And so the fees will always be low on Ripple, and so it becomes a freely usable system. The fees will always be low on Ripple, and so it becomes a freely usable system. Indeed. Well said, David Schwartz there. And, in terms of adoption here, people, anytime there's for instance, when JP Morgan, they came out and they're like, hey, we're going to have our JP Morgan coin, and then you've got all the Bitcoin maxis, see, everyone's just going to use this, or Libra comes out, oh, see, that's going to be the Ripple killer. Everything that comes out is allegedly a Ripple killer. I don't see any business positioning any coin to be used in the way that Ripple intends for XRP to be used as a bridge currency. So could something come in and be used instead? Technically, who's pushing for that? Who is incentivized to even do that? Well, currently no one. Ripple's the only one doing it. Hey. And the piece continues. As Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse says, regulatory approval is must for any token to attain long-term success. Ripple's likely en route on the same. Moreover, it has recently issued an open letter to U.S. regulators requesting policies that actually encourage blockchain and crypto industry, and not that risk innovation, tax revenue, and employment. Furthermore, the firm has received non-security issue for XRP from UK regulator Financial Conduct Authority, which was also quite a huge deal. And that was one of my favorite things that I've had the pleasure of reporting on, by the way, over the last week or two. In particular, that one really stands out. Just the fact that the UK's FCA says, yeah, XRP is pretty much the same as Ethereum and Bitcoin. There's utility. Well, duh, it's not a security. No, I appreciate not that of them, but you know what I mean. Well, the FCA didn't specifically write about XRP. Actually, they did. They got that wrong. It compares it to Ethereum and indicates... Oh, that's what they meant. Okay, fair enough. It compares it to Ethereum and indicates that it can be an exchange token or be a utility one. Then that is what they said. And it wasn't just Ethereum, it was Bitcoin, like I just said a moment ago. Indeed, the security token clarity on XRP was important because the company in the past faced legal action in the U.S. over its alleged sale of unregistered security. With that being said, Ripple has largely invested in MoneyGram, a global payment firm. Recent reports even suggest that it is now looking to invest in multiple companies after MoneyGram. Yeah, they're going on a tear here. So that was their, they're looking at making actual acquisitions. I don't know how many of you heard. I did report on that in a fairly recent video. I can't remember. It was probably over a week ago at this point. But Ripple's they're accelerating the pace. They are not slowing down. And so in that crawl, walk, run phase, Brad says that we're reaching the walk level. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in the next year, maybe we will and it's all relative. Like you can say it is whatever you think it is, but maybe we'll be in the run phase within the next year. There is going to reach a point where the growth of RippleNet, including XRapid, it'll just reach a point. It's just going to blow up in an exponential fashion, and you're going to have a crazy number of financial institutions, banks joining regularly, and it's probably going to be hard for Ripple to keep up with the amount of demand that's going to be coming their way, no doubt. All right, next piece here. This is titled, Winklevoss Twins Open to Partner with Facebook Despite Old Disputes. From a topical perspective, I found this rather fascinating. Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss, the co-founders of crypto exchange Gemini, admitted in an interview with CNN that they were ready to partner with Facebook for the Libra project. On August 19th, Winklevoss brothers told CNN's Poppy Harlow that they would close their eyes to their rivalry with Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg for Libra. Whether or not they reach a deal with the social media giant, the twins believe in Libra's potential. They said that Facebook's digital currency project was great for the market in a period when cryptos are everywhere. Cameron noted, and here's a quote, "I think there is a day in the future where we can't live without crypto or imagine a world before crypto." The potential collaboration between Gemini co-founders and Mark Zuckerberg might materialize despite their old legal fight over the origins of the social media behemoth and who should be called Facebook creators. It should come as no surprise that Zuckerberg actually consulted the brothers when developing Libra. Back in 2011, when the dispute began, CNN sarcastically predicted that the only thing that could stop Winklevoss twins' legal crusade against Facebook was the end of the universe that is estimated to come in several billion years from now. In the end, Libra might become more powerful than the anticipated heat death. This is true at least in the context of Zuckerberg-Winklevoss brothers' rivalry. Besides, the twins took solace in their role in the rapidly growing crypto industry after creating Gemini. Tyler Winklevoss explained, quote, "Facebook was a dispute, but it didn't really define who we were as people. Gemini is much more of a representation of who we are, what we stand for, what we're interested in." And I tell you, from my perspective, if I were the Winklevoss twins, even if I felt like Zuckerberg robbed me, at this point, with everything they put together, and just on top of that, the massive wealth they've created because of all that Bitcoin they bought back in the day, if I were the Winklevoss twins, just one of them, I don't think I'd be too sad anymore about all that. I think I'd be over it and just moving forward. And they are building something. The fact that they created this Gemini exchange, even if they're not pro XRP guys, it's still cool. Like what they're doing, they really are building something. Anyway, the twins, once labeled Bitcoin billionaires, have been in talks with the social media giant about joining the Libra Association. The latter is a decentralized entity that should comprise 100 members by 2020. Facebook has already unveiled 28 founding members, including Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, and Coinbase. Tyler and Cameron said they want to learn more about Libra before making the final decision. Besides becoming part of the association, Gemini might also list Libra when or if it gets launched. Indeed, there is a minor possibility that Libra might never launch because of the regulatory pressure. However, the Winklevoss brothers are confident in Libra's future. Moreover, Cameron expects that each of the FANG giants, including Amazon, Apple, Google, and Netflix, will get into crypto at some point. So how about that? I just thought it was a fun story, so happy to cover it. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I very much appreciate all of the support. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!